it's going to be a tough map for Cloud9. Now, they did go up against OG, and while OG beat them badly, I just want to say, OG, one of the best Mirage teams right now. Absolutely extraordinary, and Alexi B had an unreal performance. Farmed the hell out of him. 1.15 rating on that map. Beautiful stuff, 180R. So that's going to be tough. But, of course, Complexity are going to be close to equivalent competition and just as comfortable. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, if Config was playing like he was playing on Nuke on Mirage, I think he's even better on Mirage, man. I've seen him do some insane stuff on Mirage maps. Alex will try to hold on to B. He actually does a pretty good job getting this kill, but he's low on health and he gets punished on the shoulder in Config. Yeah, he's starting to turn up the pace a bit here with these kills. Still locking the window out.
Attack finally getting the better of him, but took a bit of time. He's done the damage. Floppy with a smoke out gets wrecked by Poison.
Pushing it further into market. Config is hyped up. What's he saying?
He's gonna eat that microphone soon.
It's in caster mode. Let's hear them comms. I want to know. Wow, that was a wicked shot. Actually, a couple. Shot goes by.
Man, that's 4 of the 5 at least. We didn't see the last kill, or the 5th kill, but 4 of the 5, first bullet headshot.
True.
Complexity looking crisp. I do think that I agree entirely with Pimp on the desk, right? It is very clear to us now, over the last 2 games, that Cloud9 are improving.
Oh, a ton. I mean, they definitely, it's crazy they were able to keep up and dare I say probably should have won Nuke by how many, just looking at how many eco rounds, like full USP rounds they lost, right? Like with some experience, they wouldn't have lost those. It didn't look like they were nervous outside of those rounds. Those were weird ones. But yeah, just the fact that it was competitive in the first place is pretty impressive. It was a brave pick by them. It almost paid off. But Complexity really the perfect test in a lot of senses. Okay, Floppy will win his duel in connector. Attention turned now towards Cat.
Messi's gonna get pushed and popped. Rush comes out of the B-apps to clear the closest of the corners. Talking about the rounds that they should have won on Nuke, I think that if we return to the narrative we were kind of brewing before the series started about the similarities between Cloud9 and Complexity, when Complexity were experiencing their struggles in the minor circuit at the start of 2020, I would say those were the exact kinds of rounds that they were also losing.
Right.
Now look at them, able to flip it on its head because they've had nearly a year of experience to build together. And yes, they've got to change some things with the recent addition of JKS and the unfortunate departure of young Obo.
Yeah.
But what they built has not fallen. If anything, it could get better.
I want to say, like, for me, when you compare the rosters side by sides, like Cloud9 get to stand on the shoulders of giants almost, because there were more question marks coming into the original Complexity roster. Like, how good exactly was BlameF as an IGL? Like, clearly worth more money than whatever they paid for him. I think it was maybe 150K at the time. I can't remember. Like, absolutely the most important pickup of the roster, and everyone else working out so well. Like, Rush's form had dropped a bit, and he, even though major winner Rush, was coming into this team, it was still a bit of a question. But everything ended up working out slowly. Cloud9, they're kind of the new generation of that. They started out with a kind of more impressive roster on paper right from the jump, but still need time to develop. Question mark with Alex as an IGL and the roles and stuff like that, but the actual quality of the players seem to be higher right from the get-go. And it's, I guess for that reason, no surprise they can pull off so many potential close upsets and upset versus NIP and almost won here on Nuke so quickly. I think after, the amount of hype that was coming into the lineup, there's no way to satisfy the expectations of fans. But if there was no hype coming into the lineup, I think everybody would be pleasantly surprised, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. I think Henry did a really good job of kind of selling us the story.
And that's his job, right? Like, anybody who's mad about them getting hyped up about Cloud9 is really just mad at themselves for buying into it too hard. But what else are you paying Henry to do except for create interest on the team? Whether you're watching them to win or to lose, you're watching them.
And had they come out of the gates with just nothing but a success story, then it would have been even more hype. I think the tone changed, obviously, before their debut compared to just after it with a bit of struggles, right? There was that HLTV article with Alex talking about how they don't think they're playing as badly as people are saying.
Yeah.
Because, again, of the high expectations others set for themselves. And then, at the same time, recognizing that it's also not where they want to be or should be.
Yeah.
And now, already, just a little bit later in the same month, and, well, they contested complexity on Nuke.
I think similarities to OG as well. I mean, another roster.
Yeah.
I personally, I've believed them since the jump and saw that they could get a lot better. And I'd say Cloud9 started off with more talent than even them right off the jump. So we'll see how far they can get with it. But just the amount of IQ on the team and kind of history with these individuals as stars, you just assume eventually they'll get something going. Well, here's the proving ground. 3-0 start for Complexity as blamef barrels to the bottom of mid, and man, he's made so much progress. It is a lurk in and of itself. It looks like a blind rush, but he is just beating all of these timings. Mezzy will eventually take rush out as a refrag on another part of the map over towards B. They canceled the B rush. This is a mid-round adjustment here from Complexity. We'll see what it means, though. Coming over towards A. Oh, wow, Alex is actually calling out the B setup right away. So now Mezzy can potentially rotate. The thing is, they don't have information on Cat, so they're going to slow it down. But that goes both ways. This gives time for Alex to get all the way through to spawn or potentially top mid and make a retake a lot easier if it comes to it.
Woxic had seen blamef cross, but then he left Catwalk as quickly as Cloud9 go clearing into the B site. So just nice quick calls on both sides of the coin. Floppy about to be tested. Two players have already exited, and Alex is hot on the flank. blamef not yet watching it, but you know that internal timer is ticking. However, a little occupied with the execute. Alex, he's going to find backs turned. He could line up a bunch of players, takes the double, and now Poison kind of stranded on the default, will find a head of his own, but it's JKS in a 1 versus 3 with 30 seconds. Swaps over to the AK, gets flashed in the process. Alex calling out that rotate back to A with a flank of his own, and then he hits all the shots he needs to. He has as many kills as his team combined. It's Cloud9 with their first.
Yeah, if information is power, Alex is the most powerful here. It's his teammates who know that it's going to come up towards A. It's Alex who knows he's going to have the chance to get the jump on at least one player and have high chance in the retakes, even if his teammates fail over on the A site. And it's all about how fast he called out the fact that Complexity left B. That's the confidence you do like to see. Config feigning some top mid presence. Actually does commit across. Poison versus Woxic. This has been an interesting duel. Looks like one for Poison here, yeah, as he'll punish the peak. Oh, sorry, excuse me. It's Mezzy who goes out with the op. And HE in response. My mistake. It's actually Woxic opping as well, but just not on this side of the map. But I think so far between Poison and Woxic, slight edge towards Poison. We saw an early couple of really good kills from Woxic that were game-changing, but in the fourth quarter, it was really Poison to come up huge with 1 or 2 frags of his own. Looks like another cat split is on the horizon. Esatag picks up the op that Mezzy had, looks for a flick. We'll go 1 for 1 with it.
Closest rotates Alex.
Oh man, this is not an easy situation for Cloud9. Almost thinking about not going for this. Honestly, having an op to come in for this retake, this is a stretch. And Alex gives up a gun. Floppy will go down as well, leaving Woxic alone. An exit frag here. I think this was ill-advised. I want to say that this is a situation where you almost certainly save 3 to 4 retake on the B site. Real Hail Mary there by Alex.
Tried to challenge out from Marketplace, but having lost Mezzy early, it was all on Esatag. Yes, he gets one with that picked up AWP, but he can't fall into the bomb site. They just swarm him with numbers, and because Complexity didn't really, well, show their hand elsewhere, it was just the follow-through sweep. Yes, Alex could have challenged, but as you called it, maybe a little ill-advised. Bomb pops.
Yeah, Heart was in the right place, but yeah, this untraded kill, this is what makes it hard. Esatag stays alive, falls back. He can set Alex to try to come in, but his position is not going to be a big surprise whatsoever. So now, at least with the op, they'll save it. It is this threat that they can keep into the round. And, oh, they're going to invest behind it. Another reason why they should have probably tried to save sooner. 3 FAMASes and an MP9 to support this op of Woxic. Looks like a close A ramp setup potentially, or a palace push to start things out. Woxic, semi-deep angle. Floppy looking to take care of A ramp. Woxic might be rewarded with a duel, but oh my god, it's not one he wants.
Alex goes for the underhanded flash, takes over the ramp peak, does slip into position. This could be a matter of timing. And if he could deliver a big hit in this position, man, that'd be great. But obviously mollied out of the position and then quickly dispatched of. Last man is Mezzy.
That's ridiculous from JKS. To hit that crouch peak. Looked like had to be a pre-fire with how quick it was. Out into Woxic's angle, excuse me. Not even planning the bomb here. Just want to try to get info on Mezzy. Mezzy loitering at mid. Trying to avoid a find. He'll move up into connector. But then back into Blame F potentially. Very strange movements there from both sides. Eventually gets caught off guard. That's a pretty big round from Poison. Floppy has his aim displaced. Oh, Poison will get 3 on this round, actually, jumping up Tetris. This is a really quick adjustment. Boom, connects them like magnets.
That potential fight in Palace, though, that's the one that could have changed things. Had we seen Cloud9 get a member deep into it, but that was also taken away as Poison popped off with the triple. So Cloud9 with Deagles and a 5-7 across the board. It's going to be a quick one as Config takes the front, and Floppy's actually going to stop it. Smoke grenades to pop all over. You know the pressure is starting to crank up here versus Complexity if they were to continue this commitment, and there's no need to. But they have offered over the AK to the hands of Floppy. He gets a second kill as he wastes no time taking to the top of the ladder. Esatag to the top of the stairs, trying to find an angle, but things cool off. Blame F, he's going to take over the chair position as Complexity peeled 2 players away from the A site and instead head to B.
An intriguing approach there from Floppy to come up the ladder to manufacture that second kill. And that does give Cloud9 a lot of space. Mezzy pushing up into the B apps. Oh, looking for the hard angle on Rush. He'll punish what is clearly now going to be looked at as a fake. Cloud9 will have to read into it in that same fashion as well. JKS will peel back from the ramp. Laid out to mid is Blame F, looking for a target, but nobody's come out to the yard to play. I think might have gotten spotted there, but it's not information that needs to be reacted to. Cannot plant the bomb at mid, and they can force them into the sites and play the sites themselves.
Doubled up deep on bench. 15 seconds. They've got 5 seconds to spare if they actually want to play this. They're going to decide to go for it. They've got literally 4 seconds to clear out this bomb site. So Alex, his position on Van is crucial. Luckily for Complexity, they don't die after time. I guess I respect the commitment, but...
No, yeah, it didn't seem like they'd be able to win that at all.
Yeah.
Hoping that the site was going to be understaffed, but...
They've got a buy behind them.
Yeah, and
this one from Floppy, though. Getting hands on the AK, going to the top of the Palace.
Right. It's the information, it's the extra kill, forcing Complexity to reassess the situation. Brings Cloud9 back into this. They were getting punished extremely hard. Like, this should have been another easy round for Complexity. I think they might have thrown their own lurk smoke up the A ramp. That kind of gets used against them. That Alexi B A ramp smoke. Flame F applying pressure on connector, moving up quickly. Poison over the top of it. Ops down Esatag. That is such an early opening. They've cracked the code at middle.
Deep smoke for Floppy to play around as Woxic picks up a kill. That's shutting down the man who was trying to sneak through to the staircase. JKS goes tip to tip with Floppy, and his AK reigns supreme. Man advantage. but a close corner from Mezzi. That could actually crack the B side open. Alex almost lining up 2 players. Rush, he needs to clear this, and he will, but he doesn't get the kill. It's Mezzi with a bit of a chance as he lays down the flashbang. Fire keeps him out of this contest. He cannot stop bomb from going down, and that means Complexity could also go deep into the market. A nice prediction of the peak from Poison. Now he has a little bit of a deep control, but obviously still knowing one's up in apps, he keeps his eyes on Cat, knocks down a second piece. This is Poison looking for the 1v3. Mezzi, 57 HP, and a Molotov on Poison in case that bomb keeps ticking. It's down to 1/3. A no-scope misses the mark, and so Cloud9 take the defuse. A third... What? Oh my god, don't scare me.
Wow, he's gonna get off that. That's insane. He'll grab the defuse. What is that, man, from Poison? After all of that, such an insanely good play. I mean, he is shooting hot. Mezzi's like, you took me off this bomb just now? Well, that's so strange. Okay, first of all, 1, 2, and 3 kills here, plus the 1v3, and then he pushes out with the op for the no-scope. At first, it looked like a super confident position, but he risked it, not even going for the quick scope, which would have made a little bit more sense. I thought he was playing off the audibles, but Mezzi instantly punished. There was a chance he could have taken the shot and then fallen off, but maybe a couple of other ways he could have won that round, considering he still had a Molotov in his hand as well. Either way, what's done is done.
Cloud9 starting to piece together a CT side.
Yeah.
As much as we can criticize them, 14-4 for the moment.
No doubt. The only reason they got that close to winning in the first place.
These are the kinds of buys we saw Complexity break through with on Nuke far too often. It's time to put that to an end, Cloud9. Early 5v4, smoke fades in the face of Poison. How could he contest this A site? He's got Floppy down beneath him on the default box, and of course Woxic's up on ticket. Little boost up, peer through the windowsill.
An opportunity for Alec.
And a second.
He's got a straw hat on now. He's trying to farm. It's been a pretty strong map for him so far. Looking for more targets, and it looks like he'll find it. Very nicely done.
Cloud9 taking a 4th round. Alex, all 5 kills this time around. Obviously just versus those pistols, but take them when you can. More importantly than anything, minimizing losses for Cloud9. So now this CT side starts to crank up the heat. 3 rounds in a row. Plenty of guns from the last one. Money starting to be built here for C9. If they can win another round like that, they are right back in this first half. Complexity, what's the solution? No op on Poison, and that's what he's been using to get off to this incredible start.
It looks like they're faking the kind of like a strawless setup at mid. They smoke. I'm not sure if it gets interrupted by that Molotov. Plume's a bit early. Tees will come around the back of it and call out that there's no CTs here. Just a reset of the situation. They'll try to subvert mid through underpass and look to apply pressure on connector. CT's all in very basic positions. Floppy, he has been glued to the A ramp on most of these rounds and relatively successful at stopping the splits this way. If they come up connector, this is the place he can push into. Now we'll start to peel back. It looks like we've got a B split on the cards. Rotations out for the CTs over towards A off of no information. So much pressure on Mezzi. He cannot deliver. Absolutely cooks in the fire. Alex will push out. Will the hero play come in? He'll deny the plan at least, but it's only down to 1 CT after the trades go down. Rush grabs 2, Woxic alone in the window, and that's the op out of the round. Blamef will find the final kill, and you just have to ask, why did Cloud9 move into that A stack when they didn't have the information? Maybe they were trusting... Well, they were trusting the fact that their initial smokes at mid were respected.
And hope that maybe Esatag could do something on that solo hold, but he's just burnt to a total crisp. Big props to Alex swinging out like that, trying to stop the bomb plant, but because there were so many players there for Complexity, it's an easy trade. They had plenty of time. It's not like it was a 5-second stoppage. So right back into it, Cloud9 going to throw 3 bodies at the B site. 2 of them going to play connector. Or excuse me, the catwalk. One actually lingers back a bit. That's Alex. just in case there was an incoming rush. Not the case, but Complexity 3 members inside of the Palace. And 2 for the potential mid-pinch. Essetag has eyes down on underpass, so BlameF's got to be cautious, but an excellent flashbang comes in from top mid. Essetag fires off his gun. Woxic gets that first kill. That is denying one of the players from top mid, so Complexity, it's the protocol. They push out from Palace, caught between 2 CTs. Floppy doing great damage, but JKS gets him through ticket. It's getting back that bomb that could be a potential issue. Frag grenade goes deep towards jungle. It's just Woxic sat back there cautiously, tucked in within the murder hole. So really kind of giving space to Complexity to play this bomb site. And that can be said for Mezzy as well, Launders. He's tucked back in CT spawn.
They're just going to wait, yeah. They're still a little bit anxious about the thought of a big flank, and that's because BlameF is still alive. So it looks like Alex is going to try to suss this out. They know that Complexity are going to attempt to try to get some, or that they would try to get some information back before going for a plant. Fake plant comes in. JKS trying to draw a CT forward, and I think the peek will come in right now from CT spawn. It's not covered properly from BlameF. A good timing here for Mezzy, and now, well, you'd be hard-pressed to get that bomb down if you're BlameF. It's going to be difficult. Let's see if they give him the respect here. He'll peek up, expose himself to the side of connector. Alex will get the shots down through the side of triple, and Cloud9 deal with that standard A exec pretty damn well.
JKS faking it the first time, could have technically stuck it. As we saw Mezzy's response, he kind of bursted a little bit closer but didn't go for it. Put himself instead in a position to contest the second attempt, and BlameF, after just getting 1 kill elsewhere, kind of tucks himself to the right corner of Palace and is not able to deny Mezzy as he stops that bomb plant. So things go from bad to worse once they get footing on the site. Essetag's going to play forward this round alongside a teammate in Floppy. They're going to contest this, and ramp is initially held. But we see tons of utility starting to fly over the top, flashbangs included. BlameF able to blind them, but Floppy getting his gun back out, can't get himself the third. It's 2 M4 kills for Floppy. Woxic unable to stop Blame from backing up, but no problem, because of course Alex is always in position. JKS tries to challenge out from Palace, and he too toppled. It's Cloud9 to tie at 6 rounds apiece.
Cue that up. You know what I'm talking about. Floppy absolutely teeming with confidence when it comes to facing forward down the A ramp. Look at this spray control. Absolutely beautiful. Turns away from the initial flash and then turns it into a 2K spray down. Gets so much damage off on the third player as well. Handover face BlameF will find that trade, but a really nice go of it for him. And like, he is responsible for the A ramp. He is always comfortable fighting down the stairs by himself a lot of these times, and that's something that can get punished. Sometimes people are playing 2 CTs there, but he doesn't seem to need any help.
Pistol's just pushing past. Oh, wait, what? Yes! That one's pretty quick.
4 of them get flashed by Floppy as well.
Yeah. Essetag 3 kills. Let's see how beautiful the mowdown could possibly be.
I didn't even see that happening. What is this? Absolutely ridiculous.
Look at that. Plucking them like a bunch of chickens.
Within seconds. There's nothing to be upset about there. That's just going to happen sometimes. They try to rush up Cat, and they fail.
Everybody can appreciate a fast eco round. Get it out of the way. Get us right back to the action. Round 14, it's guns on both sides. Opt for poison and no counterpart here on the side of Cloud9. They decide to get aggressive top mid. They may not have anticipated config behind the boxes. And with that flash, he goes for the peek, but they've just fallen back. Yeah, he's seen by Woxic. Config didn't quite catch it. Definitely a player on his screen. At least 16-9.
Things get awkward a little bit. That first exchange goes unnoticed. JKS will toss a molly out to triple. Don't know if it lands a little bit shy. Floppy's peeking off the right side of it, and JKS will fall back a bit. Once again, Complexity will just try to rescour map control, going through underpass this time. Rush. Oh, he's fallen asleep at the wheel. Alex. He's putting together a push into upper B once every few rounds, and every time he does it, it seems to be successful. Oops.
Yeah, just walk away. All part of the plan, right?
Tough when you're that big. You just bump into things, whether you like it or not.
Ooh. Needs those extra wide door frames.
4-3 door frames.
Alex going to push himself up close smoke. He's already succeeded in killing a player within the apartment.
God, they're sharing a spot here. This is unbelievable. Are they best friends or enemies? Why aren't they shooting? It's because of the smoke when it comes up.
Oh.
We'll see. This is the reaction time test of the century. Holy crap.
Oh, in a second. Poison scopes into it just like that. In fact, that 2K takes us to the even keel. JKS back behind the bench, but Poison in with a trio of frags already. And if he peeks beyond this pillar to look through that window, then I'm going to call it Woxic his next victim, but Blame F takes a headshot of his own. Floppy dies out to the IGL. How have they managed that? Poison just barrel stuffing Alex. And Cloud9, I mean, they had themselves an excellent start to the round.
I think, let's see. Oh, I guess he just, oh my God. He's actually already impaling him with the op. I don't know. I feel like that's a moment. We saw Kerrigan jump out of his chair when he didn't notice the guy in connector.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, yeah, he got really scared there just for a second.
All right, tied at 7.
He thought he was basically on top of the chair in the corner, but
And that play pushes Poison to 18-9.
Wow.
Woxic puts a quick end to him here in the final round of the first half. Who's going to take the edge? A 5v4 favoring Cloud9 out the gates early. Blame F hit by the frag grenade. Floppy gonna just let this ramp play slide. Doesn't force the issue. Flashbangs come over top, and Config, he's gonna get dinked, but he will take the kill. Still, the two Danes of complexity, low on HP.
yeah. In terms of extreme lurk plays, like Complexity are looking a little bit neutered here, not able to get into window room control safely. Doesn't seem like it's necessarily part of the plan either, but last round 3v5, Poison got 3, Blame F got 2. Not going to call it too soon. Even though they're low on HP, Config, he's trying to pull a late play out of mid, and he's going to look for a timing. It's always been S-Attack here to try to divide up his attention between the connector and the window. But this rotation makes a whole lot more sense. Watching the window from B, they're even strength on both sites now. Going to be a difficult one, even harder than the last.
Config creeping and crawling closer. S-Tag trying to keep his head on a swivel, but Config's found a little bit of timing. Good headshot, but here comes the stoppage. Player back on bench. Mezzi, wait. The bomb's actually planted. Blame F now also taken down. Mezzi gets there in the end. I was going to think for a moment maybe they plant and trade frag, give somebody the 1v2 clutch attempt, but Cloud9 shave an 8th round onto their...
On Inferno in their first series, they had like some good stuff going for them. And I think they're already kind of exceeding expectations here on Mirage as well. Keeping up with Complexity, it's been very impressive. Complexity, in their own right, have looked extraordinarily good, and they have their own challenges in not knowing the brand of Counter-Strike that Cloud9 are going to bring. So credit to them as well. But just happy to be here, man. It's been a great match overall. First map delivered in spades. Config now on the CT side with a strong CT setup. It's actually perfect to defend against what's coming their way. And because the mid-peak comes out after the underpass play, it sets up the CTs perfectly to get the first 2 kills. Trades go down, and Cloud9 are down a player, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily out of the round. It's not going to be an easy situation, and Blame F will use these trades perfectly. He'll grab some space back inside of B, and this will cause some rotations, but in an interesting way, because the bomb is now moving over towards B, and it depends how carefully things are cleared out. But there's just now more emphasis on this one frag. However, it seems like they're being wise to this. Okay, they're clearing stuff out, but they're definitely going to go back to B, right?
Looks like it.
Floppy here waiting.
There's only going to be one player to potentially trade Blame F, so...
This seems like a situation where they're going to start running off of a flash from Mezzi.
Oh, Blame, he gives it up. Ooh, Blame dies out. He doesn't let them come to him, but rather goes for the peak. 15 seconds. They're doubling back to the A site, and Floppy pulls it off.
Oh my God, do they have time to plant?
Rush has to catch him from Cat.
They're going to go off Cat. Yeah, he needs to hit this shot. We've got to get eyes on him. This is the one. Oh my God. Wait, they win before the time's even up. Cloud9, how do you pull that off?
There's 3 seconds to spare. I don't know if he gets that plant, man.
That was really close. My God, what is going on? How did they pull that off?
I want to say that without those kills, they don't actually win that.
Wow. I don't know. Hopefully the clock can help us out in this replay. Yeah, it looked like it was just
If we could get a replay of that bomb being planted.
6 seconds getting to the site, that was definitely a stretch. That was very close. He had bomb out, maybe could have gotten down 7 seconds. But, wow. I cannot believe they won that. That could have been an incredibly important pistol. We'll see how the rest of this half plays out.
I think Blame regret's going for that peak. If he just waits an extra second.
Cloud9 haven't been the most consistent on anti-eco. Seems to be their worst nightmare. Complexity on these pistols. Here's their first test.
JKS gonna do it dirty with the deagle. Mezzi's able to get into the sandwich. We've got Complexity swarming jungle, but that deep frag grenade works out well. JKS scout shot through the smoke.
Oh, those perfect flashes. One to CT, one to jungle. Config can't stop the plant.
Desert Eagle's good for a little bit of damage. Scout shot misses the mark, so Essa tag with the ump. Gets aggressive, pays off in spades. Blame F and Config. Eagle and a CZ, the 4 members of Cloud9. They're going to take a 10th round off of the back of their pistol conversion. Very nice.
Going toe-to-toe. First to 10. Didn't expect Cloud9 to have a lead coming out of the first half, nor to have a 3-round lead in the second. But they definitely earned it. That pistol, that looked like a lost situation 100% of the time. Still, I'm kind of baffled that they worked their way out of that one. Either way, some good utility usage here from Attack. The 2 flashes to delay. Such an underrated aspect of the anti-eco setup when CTs are behind the smokes, both on CT and jungle. That 1 kill on the guy planting the bomb can totally turn the tides, making sure to keep those players flashed and naded in this situation. Could be all they need. So we'll see Complexity. Well, 1 survived anti-eco here for Cloud9 doesn't mean they'll survive a second.
Alex, players pushing up to him. JKS will get the kill versus Woxic. Poison trying to make that scout work out. As he's just going to hang out beneath the window. No stress, no problem. Cloud9 in full control of the situation. Total map control for them. If they fall back into the B apps, that's all for free as well. It's just marketplace for Complexity and their own spawn. They couldn't fall further back if they wanted to.
It's just about good leadership here, direction, and staying in tradable positions at a certain point. Sometimes you do need to spread out a little bit and make sure people aren't pushing you. But the last thing you want is these pistols to take individual duels and leave you scrambling against the clock. So the late walk out to mid, this will be the last commitment we'll probably see Cloud9 be able to pull off in this round. And it's going to be a fruitful one. A split's coming in. They're really taking their time here, but the entire A site is without CTs. It'll be a quiet plant. It'll be a nervous moment for Cloud9, but soon they will be relieved to find out that indeed the site is vacant. And here with the plant, looking like 11-7 now for Cloud9. Very powerful spot. We'll get to see more about their T side. Again, we look back on the OG match. They're 1 map in history with this lineup on record. 10-16, OG won. Alexi B farmed. And it was Cloud9's T side was actually really bad. They got 3 rounds to the 8 of OG. So already on par.
With this bomb popping off, it's Cloud9 winning 10 of the last 12 rounds.
Wow. They really did run away with the second half of that first half. Kind of the same story on Nuke as well. Really early flubs, strong finish. That's interesting.
Almost took us the distance. But, of course, time for the meat and taters. Complexity coming in with a big buy for the CT side. A double op set up immediately here between Config and Poison.
I love the adjustment. I mean, it looks like Cloud9 just lost a round. They've got 2 Galils, a MAC-10 here. We'll see how prepared they are. This is one of those rounds where if they knew the double op adjustment came in, they'd probably move right into some kind of execute. Config with the op is very potent off of Cat. This is going to be scary. Shuts down a key part to the cat split. No lurk will be in play. How scared will Cloud9 be to commit here?
Yeah, you said they might just move right into the execute had they know it. Well, Config picking up an op kill does kind of tell you it's a bit of a clue. Trying to piece it together here. Flashbangs are good versus Rush. Config, though, a second op kill already coming out of him. Rush gets damaged from the doorway. Floppy. Oh, another headshot. 2 wallbang headshots from Floppy to keep Cloud9 in this 19th round. Woxic's looking to give Overwatch.
It's Woxic time, really. If they win this, it'll be largely because of him. Floppy's going to try to hold off an angle for him, but Woxic's going to have all the enemies looking in his direction. Big flank's the first one to shut down. He grabs that kill. 2 coming out of the market. How will they approach? He's going to have the tightest of angles inside of the market. An incredibly important duel for him to win versus Poison. It's been the story. He hits him twice, takes him out in the window. JKS, will he even attempt it at this point?
Doesn't have the kit, so I mean, I'm going to call it. There's no time to make this retake happen. JKS sticking around a little bit longer, but Cloud9 with a 12th round. Despite this being a 3 versus 5, it is all Floppy and Woxic.
You have to say both their names. Woxic, he manufactured 2 entries that you just can't really teach someone to get. The read through the smoke on the player empty pillar, as well as this first kill. This was so important to continue that spam through the missile crates. Not something you often do for how little reward there is. And yeah, that second kill.
Barely call it spam, man. Like 4 shots go through the edge.
Yeah.
And that's just enough to take him. And that was after Config had opened up with 2 nice op kills.
And he has the op on Cat, so it's scary for Cloud9 to think about entering B, especially not with the wall smokes ready to go. And there's another opening for Woxic. He wins his duel versus Poison again. A little bit of revenge. I like what we're seeing between Woxic and Poison. It's creating an interesting storyline. It feels like they go head-to-head so often.
Definitely a similarity to draw between these rosters. Each of them sporting
again, this
a
is
flashy opper.
This is Complexity's map pick, right? We looked at Nuke as this brave pick by Cloud9. They could have definitely won the map. Not going to say Complexity didn't play better. I mean, they won literal USP rounds. Yes, it looked like Cloud9 were shaky, but they also played extremely well to be able to pull those back. But here on map 2, this is Complexity's map pick. There's history for them, at least a little bit, for Cloud9, but Cloud9 already doing so much better on their T side this time around than on their last go of it.
Bomb going to be planted next to triple. Easy post plant, easy round for Cloud9. 13-7. I mean, this is not nearly as close as Nuke was. Nuke was as back and forth as you could possibly get.
Dude, that was like college ball. The amount of like crazy rounds that happened, just insane clutches. Definitely some mistakes, but some amazing clutches as well.
Makes you realize that if Cloud9 were able to kind of plug up some of the mistakes they were making, that this series could have been over 2-0. They're assuming Cloud9 are going to finish this one, but they absolutely should. We've seen barely a sign of life coming out of Complexity in terms of winning rounds. Yes, there have been moments. There have been man advantages, but nothing actually getting to the scoreboard, not for so long.
There's the big one. This
just gets
opening
splattered.
Just for free, right? Just for free. Of course, it's just about who gets there first between Poison and Woxic, two of the some of the fastest oppers in the game. Cloud9 got their logo on fire, winning 5 rounds in a row. 2 ops in again. Config, again, very competent opper here for Cat. Will oftentimes go for it. This time it's actually Blame F to take this position with Config and Connector. Better spawn for him. Early mid control out. I mean, they have this locked down. Oh yeah, that's the opening for Config. He'll get away. He takes some damage, but that means nothing. He'll actually just move up over to top mid. They're coming in hot behind him. 2 players walking up on this underpass lurk, and they take out Blame F. Config, great adjustment. 180, but traded by Woxic.
Yep, Poison, it's his turn, but he drops his shot. It is Woxic to make the difference. This is another round where Config's 2K from the op could be everything, but instead, we find Cloud9, who are already on fire, taking back control of the round. Blame Blame F from Catwalk, looking into the underpass, just getting his head ripped clean off, left Config in such a compromised position. And I mean, you can't expect him to do anything else. He hits the second shot, Op is on cycle, and there's just far too many members of Complexity for him to handle the heat.
Okay.
Cloud9 keep this going, doubling the round count of Complexity.
A little bit of complexity here with the way they're approaching their T side. Some good re-aggressions, excuse me. And a brave move. The two players to come back up out of underpass to kill Config. They put so much pressure on him. It looked like an indomitable CT setup with 2 ops on mid plus a rifler, but an awkward timing as Blame F misses his jump up onto the cat corner, and Woxic will post up on the A ramp again. It looks like they want to move into a very simple A exec. He'll take a shot, maybe to make it seem like this is just their default. They miss a jump up on the A ramp. This is important that they don't make too much noise here. See it, yeah. JKS will punish hard. It's a beautiful spam by him, but look who's out already. It's Mezzy.
2K Forum going even harder back to the CT spawn. This is where it could have stopped, but Blame F takes a headshot to the face. 3K for Mezzy. Again, another CT round where Complexity are looking like they're gonna lock something off. At least show us they can win a round on this second half, because so far it's 7 in a row for Cloud9.
Let me see Mezzy like really early on. As soon as he hears the shots there, does he run out before the flash just to kill the A ramp setup, or does he respond and wait for the nades? Because it felt like he just came out early, just as soon as he realized himself that there wasn't, that he didn't even wait for instructions. Like as soon as he saw that the setup was there. You know, Cloud9 are so scared the bomb's gonna get defused with a player dead on site, but it's fine. They'll get away, they win the rounds.
15
Let's watch that back.
On the board.
That's all about Mezzy, man. I mean, oh, he's already walked up. Okay, as soon as he hears the bullets, he's gonna run out. JKS maybe gets 2, but this is just beautiful from him.
And that third one.
Flashes from Floppy.
Yep. Complexity. They have definitely have footing in some of these CT rounds, but they're just not putting them on the board, and now it's 8 map points for Cloud9. This is some killer stuff. Cloud9. Oh, and Alex just snapping it onto Poison. I mean, dude, he was dead. 4 players standing right there ready for him. Blame F tucks to the side of Connector. He hears all the footsteps on the other side of this, but he can do nothing. Because if he gives himself up, there is no reason to believe Complexity can come back from a 3 versus 5 on this CT side.
Oh my god.
Blame just crosses his fingers and his toes. Config and Rush now know that they could still win it. It was 1 kill only. JKS sitting underneath the palace. It's Mezzy who's walked out into mid with a headshot as Floppy adds another. If he can come in with the 1 versus 2 to deny Config as he has another multi-kill. Config is trying his absolute damnedest to give something to Complexity CT side. And it's only once Cloud9 secure that 15th that the CTs put one on the board here. And again, it's because of Config. He finds 20 kills, tying with Poison. 4 frags needed from him.
And the final one, lock and key here. 7 rounds to go for Complexity to come back into it. So much momentum for Cloud9. Finally strip him from a little bit. If there's anyone who's not going to be scared, it's Config. But his efforts alone won't be enough. Flash out mid. They're coming fast. And oh my god, a confident pick. Config's out early. Poison here, left with an M4 A1S in the window. Clean shot onto Alex. Doesn't realize there's anybody right below him. But he'll quickly recede out of the window. Floppy takes pole position inside the B halls. They're ready to pounce on the site, and Mezzy, he's sitting here in underpass, ready to catch lurks. The rotations are not here, even though Complexity are scouring the A ramp. They must know at this point they should be more worried about B than A.
Rush tucked deep down, Catwalk. Cloud9 grouping up for this hit. What could be the final attack? CT's starting to come over, but not really in position. We'll see if Rush can at least stay alive as these Ts inevitably start flooding down into the site. They know he's back here. Floppy's going to extend into it. It's S-Tag with the kill, which turns Floppy back onto the market door. And JKS, who thought he had come out from market unnoticed, is called out from Woxic. All falling to Blame F. This is incredible. Yes, Complexity draw first blood.